Look, every single day, thousands of Canadians are feeling absolutely squeezed financially. You've probably felt it too, right? That frustration of working incredibly hard, but somehow still falling behind. You look at your bank account and think, wait, how am I making this much money, but keeping so little of it? Well, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving deep into exactly what's happening to your wealth. We're counting down 20 hidden financial mistakes that are quietly draining bank accounts across the country. And hey, the best part? If you recognize yourself in even one of these, no need to panic. We're going to look at the data and show you exactly how to fix it. Now, it's super easy to just point the finger at outside factors. We hear it all the time, don't we? People saying they're broke because they don't earn enough, or because inflation is just completely out of control right now. And yeah, for sure, those things create a ton of pressure. But honestly, the real truth is usually a lot closer to home. Thousands of Canadians are losing money not just because of inflation, but because of their habits. They're making the exact same financial mistakes on repeat without even realizing it. Some of these slip-ups might just cost you $50, some might cost $5,000, but the others, they can literally steal hundreds of thousands of dollars over your lifetime. Okay, let's dive into this. To really figure out how this wealth is just slipping through our fingers, we have to ask ourselves a pretty blunt question. Where is your money actually going? To answer this, we're going to trace the typical money life cycle, breaking it down phase by phase. Let's start right at the very beginning. The exact second your paycheck hits your account and instantly starts getting drained by things you probably don't even notice. Phase 1, everyday spending traps. These are the silent wealth killers, the tiny leaks that slowly sink the ship. First up, those forgotten $9 subscriptions. I mean, most of us can name our Netflix account, but can you honestly name every single app or cloud service pinging your card every month? A $9 charge isn't a huge deal on its own, but 10 forgotten ones? Absolutely. Next, confusing wants with needs. Do you really need the newest phone, or do you just kind of want it? Learning to separate the two is literally a financial superpower. Then there's the trap of never negotiating your bills. Look, your internet and cell providers are almost never going to just volunteer a discount. You actually have to ask. Honestly, one quick phone call could save you hundreds a year. And finally, emotional spending. Having a rough day? Shop. Bored on a Tuesday night? Shop. Retail therapy feels amazing for, 5 minutes? But the credit card statement definitely outlasts that dopamine hit by about 6 months. This perfectly explains why so many people throw their hands up and say, I literally don't know where my money went. But here's the reality check. Your money didn't just vanish into thin air. It walked out the door one single transaction at a time. The fix here is tracking your spending. Now I know, a lot of people dodge this because they think it's going to feel like a strict financial diet, way too restrictive. But tracking spending isn't about restriction, it's about awareness. And awareness naturally shifts your behavior. A really great trick to build this muscle is to force a 24-hour delay on any non-essential purchase. You'll be absolutely shocked by how many things you suddenly realize you really don't need to buy. Which brings us to phase 2, the dangerous debt illusion. Have you ever noticed how a car dealership will pitch you a vehicle as only $689 a month? Or a furniture store promises you a whole new living room for just $42 every 2 weeks? Suddenly, everything feels totally affordable. But let's look at what's actually happening behind the scenes. Those enticing little monthly payments, they start stacking up. You've got the car payment, the phone financing, the furniture, the gym, insurance, and before you know it, you're bleeding thousands of dollars every single month before you even bought a carton of eggs. Monthly payments are literally designed to mask the real price tag of consumer goods. Whenever you buy something, you should always be asking one crucial question. What is the total cost? That illusion of affordability leads straight into 2 massive traps. First, we've become incredibly comfortable financing things that drop in value like a rock, then couches, tires, or the latest smartphone. If an item loses its value that quickly, you really need to think twice before borrowing money to buy it. The interest quietly transforms a standard purchase into an incredibly expensive one. Second trap? Banks absolutely love it when you only pay the minimum balance on your credit card. It keeps you on the hook, paying them interest for years. If you're carrying a $6,000 balance at 20% interest, you're going to hand over thousands in interest alone. Every extra dollar you can throw at the principal attacks that balance and breaks you out of the trap so much faster. Moving into phase 3, missed saving and investing. We really need to reframe how we look at tax season. So many people celebrate a big tax refund like they just hit the jackpot or found free money on the sidewalk. They instantly book a trip, upgrade the TV, or go on a massive shopping spree. But here is the stark truth. A big tax refund usually just means you gave the government a zero-interest loan for the entire year. So instead of blowing it immediately on more stuff, treat it as a huge opportunity. Deploy that capital to crush your high-interest debt, pad your emergency fund, or get it invested. Future you will seriously thank you. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that 22% figure. That is a super common interest rate for a standard credit card, and it totally exposes the tricky math of trying to juggle debt and investing at the same time. A huge mistake people make is trying to play investor while they're still dragging around high-interest consumer debt. Just think about the math for a second. If you're making a solid 8% return on your investments, but you're paying 22% interest to the credit card company, mathematically, you are bleeding money every single day. You're walking backward on a treadmill while thinking you're moving forward. The game plan here is crystal clear. You have to wipe out that expensive high-interest debt first. Only then should you start hitting those investments aggressively. And when you do start investing, you gotta use the tools built specifically for you. Ignoring Canadian tax shelters like the tax-free savings account, the first home savings account, or the RRSP is a gigantic unforced error. These accounts exist for a very specific reason, and they are absolute powerhouses for building wealth. If you just brush off how they work and default to standard unregistered accounts, you are literally handing over your own hard-earned wealth by paying more taxes to the government than you legally have to. Seriously, take a weekend afternoon to understand them. It's a game changer. So the key takeaway here is understanding that not all your money should be doing the exact same job. You have to draw a hard line between your emergency funds and your long-term wealth. Keeping absolutely everything in cash is a risky move because inflation just quietly eats away at your purchasing power year after year. Now, to be clear, emergency savings absolutely belong in cash. Having 3 to 6 months of essential living expenses liquid and ready to go is exactly what keeps you out of credit card debt when the transmission blows or your hours get sloshed at work. Emergency funds aren't there to make you money. They're there to save you money. But that long-term money, that needs to be invested so it can actually outrun inflation. And speaking of investing, there are 2 massive roadblocks we tend to put in our own way. The first, just waiting for the perfect time to start. So many people tell themselves, oh, I'll invest when I make a little more money. But then years fly by and nothing changes. Listen, time is actually your single most valuable asset. In fact, delaying your investments by just 5 years can literally slice your final retirement nest egg in half. The second roadblock is chasing get-rich-quick mirages, crypto hypes, meme stocks, or random stock tips from social media. It seems like every couple of years, a shiny new shortcut goes viral online, but let's be real, those shortcuts almost always lead straight back to being broke. Genuine wealth generation, it's kind of boring. But consistency will beat out excitement every single time. Which brings us to our final and most important phase, the true wealth mindset. We live in this wild era where we're just constantly measuring ourselves against social media. You open an app and immediately get blasted with luxury vacations, pristine designer homes, sports cars, and these seemingly flawless lifestyles. But we have to remind ourselves what we're actually looking at here. Social media is just the highlight reel. It never shows the loan statements, it never shows the maxed out credit limits, and it for sure never shows the crushing financial stress that's keeping those same people staring at the ceiling at 2 a.m. You have to commit to building your own financial plan based on your actual reality, not on someone else's heavily filtered Instagram feed. Because falling into that comparison trap leads directly into some major wealth-destroying behaviors. Number 1, lifestyle inflation. You get a nice bump in pay at work, and instead of taking that extra cash and investing it, you immediately go out and lease a nicer car, grab the newest phone, and start dining out way more often. Your income went up, sure, but your savings rate stayed exactly the same. You're still trapped, just in nicer stuff. Number 2, buying things simply to impress other people. Real wealth is often completely invisible, while it's usually debt that looks super expensive. And finally, ignoring your credit score. This little 3-digit number dictates everything from your mortgage rates to your insurance premiums. Neglecting it is a silent leak that will cost you tens of thousands of dollars over your lifetime. And this brings us right to the core realization of this entire explainer. The single biggest mistake you can make is believing that financial success is all about the size of your paycheck. Look, there are people out there earning $250,000 a year who are flat broke. And on the flip side, there are people earning $70,000 a year who quietly build up $1 million net worth. The deciding factor isn't the income, it's the habits. It's the discipline of saving, consistently investing, dodging unnecessary consumer debt, and building wealth brick by brick. Financial freedom is almost never the result of one lucky break. It's built through thousands of small, smart decisions that keep your lifestyle strictly below your income. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want you to be completely honest with yourself. Which of these mistakes hit a little too close to home? Because I can guarantee you we have all made at least one of them, myself included. But the beautiful part isn't where you're starting from or the slip-ups in your past. The only thing that actually matters is what you choose to do next. You have the absolute power to change your financial trajectory starting today. I really want to hear your thoughts on this, so jump into the comments and let me know. Which financial mistake do you think is the absolute most common one happening in Canada right now? Keep learning, keep tracking those habits, and take control of your wealth.